Welcome. One of the saddest things in my heart, and many people's hearts, is the fact that there are atheists. And one of the sad parts of that is that they are still precious to God. I know if you're an atheist and you've trolled me, welcome here. And the thing is, they're very precious to God because they're made in the image of Him who they reject. And there's many different reasons for atheism, and probably as many reasons as there are people, you know. That's a little exaggeration. We can categorize them just like there's Christian categorizations or Muslim or, who knows, anything in life. There's categories and groups and cliques and everything else. But before I go into sort of what I have compiled or thought of and brought together is by reading other stuff, is before I go into that, if you are an atheist, I know maybe you're laughing at me. You just love getting on here and finding these ignorant, foolish, gullible Christians. And we could add adjective after adjective, couldn't we, that you could describe me as. I would just like to plead. You probably know what I'm going to plead, but I'm going to do it anyway, because this is my heart. And I would just challenge you or request or whatever, plead with you, that you cry out to this supposed God. Just cry out. And say it with a deep, sincere, honest heart, and then don't put any prescriptions on it. Don't prescribe to him what he's going to do, if there's a him, or her, or it, or the force be with you, that thing, or whatever, but it's a him. All right, sorry, don't get hung up on any of these things, because you say, well, see, how do you know, and all this, but just push all of it aside. Scrap it. I would challenge you to do this. If you're real, you know what I'm going to say, right? If you're real, reveal yourself to me, please. Now, at that point, don't put any box on here. Don't on him, if there's a God. Don't put anything on him. And then now, that's number one. Just say that. If you're real, reveal yourself to me. If you're really sincere and have a heart, I would think you know your heart. Although the Bible says, and you may disagree with this, of course, that the heart is deceitful above all things, and desperately wicked. It's very deceitful. You could be tricked. But if you go down sincere in the core of your heart and make a choice to really say that, now at that point, don't expect well, maybe don't expect, because you don't believe that he's there. How you can have an expectation of someone or something that's not there? But if you really do that sincerely from your heart, I believe many of you are going to get saved over time. If you're really serious about it. Second thing is saved, meaning you actually come into an encounter, literal experience, not subjective sort of thing. It is sort of subjective. You can't prove it's not in a laboratory. You can't. Observation, natural senses, and naturalism and all that. Also, I would encourage you to go a bit further, but at least start with that. And that is seek. Seek by blind faith. And yet, I don't believe in blind faith, but start in blind faith. Like you say, yes, you do. Faith is blind. Maybe not be, but just be open here. But I believe in seeking and finding as much evidence that helps me to get to a place where faith becomes rational. And then I don't go just by faith. I do sort of like crying out. When I got saved, October 5th, 1977, on a Wednesday night at 8:30 in the evening, Jesus Christ, literally, I encountered him. I got born again. Jesus said, you must be born again. I actually experienced that verse without knowing it. I mean, by the way, I've experienced a lot of the verses in the Bible without reading it and then, applying it. You'd be amazed, like how many things. What? I got it. They wrote down what they experienced. And I'm not all about experience, by the way. But you need to probably have an encounter. Well, you do. You need an encounter with this God for him to actually reveal himself. All these atheists who turned Christian literally experienced, and it's irrefutable for them. Like, you can't argue with me about what happened in my life. I've had literal miracles and instant. Pain all over my body instantly go because I prayed and all. No, it's not mind power and all that because I had doubts in it. Well, I said, if it's your will you heal me? I have a new Christianity experience, and plus thousands of other experiences. That's a highlighted one because it's so physical and sudden and miraculous, and others, but that's a big one. All right, but the point is, I would encourage you to seek after him. Just literally try. And then, now this is the hard part where you go, yeah, you're fooling yourself into it. You're tricking yourself. No. That's all I'm saying. Because I'd rather give it up all. I'd give up God, religion, Bibles. I'd throw all my Bibles away, throw all these books around me away and everything else if I realized I was duped. The thing is, everything I have gone, and I didn't go expecting and wanting. I wanted truth. I want the truth. And I went after seeking him as if he's there, and everything came about. And then the Bible, this is the answers here. I mean, I'm not loony. There's too many evidences. The Bible hasn't been changed. There's too much cold case, hard case evidence. Then there's philosophically, mentally, if you won't agree and probably laughing at some of this if you're a hardcore atheist. Maybe you're just agnostic. I don't know. And then there's all the incredible Bible. There's so much in there, but what I'm thinking about all these things that I've wow, it's fantastic. But you go and seeking. I got my mind went off a little bit. Sorry, I was going to make a point. Here's my point. Go after him and seek after. And then I would just encourage you to read the Bible. Start maybe anywhere you want, and then you're not going to understand stuff, but just keep going. Now, I know why. I'll tell you what I was thinking about is that there's an understanding of this where it actually fits together amazingly. Yeah, even big issues like slavery or, the blood sacrifices and God sacrificing his son. Come on. Resurrection. Are you kidding? But everything it's amazing. It really fits together. I'm not trying to dupe myself and others aren't duping me. It's just amazing. And in every area there is, not just experience, but, and I'll keep philosophically, mentally, it fits the nature of man perfectly. It goes on, and there's just levels of understanding, revelation, him revealing himself to you. That's why I would request that you go after and try. There is a verse, and I proved it without knowing it. Seek me, this is God, just listen as if there's a God. Seek me, this is God speaking. I wish I could kind of hide right now. You just hear his voice in this verse. Seek me and you shall find me when you search for me with all of your heart. And so is that Jeremiah? I think it's Jeremiah 29. I'm not sure. Seek me and you shall find me when you search for me with all of your heart. It will happen. Maybe you're one who, because I've heard atheists say things like this. I did it for years and nothing happened, and you just gave up. Well, maybe if you go, maybe if there really is a God, I'm going to kind of try and believe and have faith that there might be someone I'm really talking to and not just speaking in the atmosphere, the air. But there is another verse, Hebrews 11:6, it says, without faith, it's impossible to please him. For he that comes to him must believe that he is, and, now listen to this, and that he's a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. Sweet. I didn't know that verse, but I've experienced that all over, all through my Christian experience. 1977. And so please, I hate to say testing. I don't, because we should do that. I'd hate to say try it, but yeah, go ahead and try. And then just go. Now this is the thing. You go like a child. Now that's just, yeah, right, exactly. You're innocent, and children don't know, they're naive and all that. No, I think there's more of a childlikeness, not like you're childish or childlike, empty little kid who doesn't know anything. Come teachable. And then don't let the intellect, be put on the shelf, but don't let it rule everything, because I believe, and you may not you may disagree, that there's deeper, this down here is deeper, and it's real, and it's there. Things like intangibles like love and relationships with people, that's a deeper, that's not just mine, like intellectual, academic, there's feelings and all that. And the thing is, you may be afraid. Fear should not push all your fears out. Like, don't fear being duped, but go after him and be honest and wanting to really find out. And then you've got to have both. There's Christians, I believe, or so-called Christians or whatever, who just go all feely, and they don't have any reasons why they believe. They don't understand the answers in the Bible, good philosophical reasons, rational belief. I was brought up that way. Or they heard it from a preacher, whatever. Oh my goodness, too much emphasis on others, people. So by the way, I don't take man's word as final on anything. And I've really gone after God himself, and yet he uses people. Maybe he'll use me. I'm not trying to be used. I just want to get you right with God, if there is a God. And so I'll just end here. I suppose I could just keep rambling. What do I say? Just say, if you're real, reveal yourself to me. I'm going to try. I'm going to go after this with an open mind, open heart. And I'm going to go, and don't be afraid of that. Like, I'm going to be tricked. And then go after him. If you really want to know that he's there, and you go after. By the way, that's how I got saved. I didn't come I want to become a Christian and then point step 1, step 2, step 3. None of the steps. I didn't know what those steps were. I didn't have anything. I didn't know what to do. My crisis as an older teenager was whether God exists. I just big time hit with doubt. And you might go, that's exactly right. You should have followed that because you needed evidence and proof. But I went with, what I'm saying is how it worked with me. And it was God, because it took me 4 days where he literally, see, nobody can refute this. It's all subjective to you, I know. You get this attitude. But he literally did something in me when I was praying really hard and seeking, and then boop, and I knew I got saved. And it was a spiritual thing. And I even tried to pray more, and I went, wait a minute, I got it, I know it. From that day on, I fulfilled, which I knew this verse way later, it started, the path of the just is like the light of dawn that shines brighter and brighter to a perfect day. It's one of the sort of mixture of different translations. It's Proverbs chapter 4. It's a great proverb. The path of the just, the path of the righteous is like the light of dawn. I was flat darkness, spiritual darkness. If I were to tell my testimony in one sentence or so, there's a lot I have here after decades of following Jesus Christ, is, and by the way, I went to the church, it was dull, dead. I never got anything, out of nothing. It was a nice little group of decent people. That was it. And then I went to another church, and the Spirit of God started dealing with me after a year of being there. I didn't know it was the Spirit of God and all that, but he started awakening me in here. It wasn't just here and all. And so, but what happened is, when I received, my sentence is, how do I say it? I to just say this. I'll say it in 3 words. Darkness to light. Not darkness to darkness, deeper darkness, in your opinion. Darkness to light. Spiritual darkness. I understand that. That's what this talks about. And I went, whoa. And I'm not talking enlightenment, type of thing. It was an encounter. It was quick. It started it. And then this book, by the way, literally just changed. And I was reading it for months, seeking, what does it say? I don't remember anything I read. I could not really understand it. And by the way, really understand it. And there's a difference between understand it from your paradigm and then truly understand what it's really saying. That's like, have you ever seen those 3D books? You put it up here and then you pull it back like this, and you can't see, you see the image there, pull it back, and then all of a sudden there's a 3-dimensional, deep, beautiful picture. It's what this is like. Or another thing, you put all these pieces of puzzles together and you got it. There it is. And so I went from literal darkness to literal light spiritually. And this is all the time involved, the mental thing. So it works beautifully together. And there's all these contradictions that you think are in the Bible. You haven't gone deep enough. It's like the 3D thing. Oh my goodness, they fit well. You just don't know. I would encourage you to read those. But the big thing is get to God himself. I mean, don't listen to people on and on. You know, don't go, all right, which religion, which God, Zeus, Thor. Just quit letting, you may have hurdle after hurdle after hurdle. And you say, yeah, because they're reasonable. Which God are you going to choose? I don't choose. I mean, I went after some God up there and he showed himself to me and I found out, yeah, Jesus Christ. And that is just, it was just truth. See, you will look at my thing and my testimony and then you'll say, well, there's all these others. And that's your hurdle, people. Because you're still thinking about listening to these representatives. And some of them are screwed representatives. They're horrible. Some atheists live better than so-called Christians and all that. Better people, more decent, more moral and all that. But you don't have a relationship with your maker. And there is a maker. Yeah, I know. You may not believe that. But I would just plead with you. Look upward. Don't say it sarcastically, attitude, because you think he's going to respond to that way. And then just open your heart and then go for it. Start reading and seeking and praying more, just trying, and then just honestly going after him and see if God doesn't come after you. Maybe he's coming after you here, but you're resistant. I don't know. Just all these mental things will block you from taking the steps. Just lock you in. They lock you into to darkness. And one last thing that's going to make you laugh if you're just, you're a scoffer. And that is, there truly are, I didn't know this and believe it, I didn't know much about this at all. And this is where, roll your eyes. Go ahead and do it right now. Give me an emoji of rolling your eyes. You know, there are demons. And here's what I'm going to say on that, is that I've literally had hundreds of experiences with demonic spirits where I actually had them, and I didn't expect this. It was all attack me physically, where I felt like all over my body. And I know this is crazy to you. And then I literally sang a particular song that came up in my spirit that I knew, oh, the blood of Jesus. I felt the power of God just push them up. I had that twice. And then there's hundreds of experiences where you actually realize that there's entities. I know it's like, and we're not talking horns and pitchfork and tail either. And so anyway, that's just another thing, that demonic spirits would love to hold people in their darkness, their powers of darkness against you. And they're liars and they're perverts. They want to pervert the truth to you, and because they hate God. And I know it's in here. And I know you think this is probably this barbaric backwaters, what else? Non-scientific, science, they didn't know anything. And then they labeled everything like all the stars and all that. And, you know, that God's done this and that. And, you know, I mean, just antiquity, ancient, ignorant people. You might be amazed that they actually are way beyond what you think in reality. Of course, the scientific age, and by the way, I believe in this, I know this is going to be crazy for you, but I believe science really does line up perfectly. I mean, everything I know a lot, there's different interpretations of science, you know, but it actually fits. You know. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Too long, probably not going to listen to this. You know, I mean, you listen to it, which thank you, and then I better cut it because people will look at 40 minutes. I'm not going to listen to that. I'm going to say God bless you, but go seek Him after Him, and you shall find Him. Thanks for listening.